I'm very excited for this trip. This will be my 3rd year going, so very excited just to get out in the field again. Great landscapes out there, and just seeing storms over those landscapes is a beauty, so I'm very excited.
All right, it's my 1st year. I'm Will. I'm really excited to go. I've been itching to go. It's been a long time coming. We're just about to start our probably about 10-hour road trip, so it's going to be a tiring first day, but I'm excited to see some storms.
Okay. Hi, I'm Natalie, and this is my 2nd study abroad course with Dr. Fry. And we are in for a long travel day today, but I'm excited to see some storms hopefully tomorrow.
I agree. This is my 2nd travel study with Fry, and I'm just so excited to go.
Really, today is just the long haul, which was always the case on the trip, getting out there and getting back to the Great Plains. So driving day, but we'll go over more forecast stuff while we drive today and kind of get everybody familiarized with the briefing process. And tomorrow we'll hopefully be chasing storms.
And we're going to be out chasing for the next 2 weeks. For today, we are going to be headed towards Kansas. We're just trying to get as far south and west as possible because the next few days after that, it looks like storms are going to be down in Texas. So we're just trying to make up as much time as we can and get out to a closer location to where we can start chasing some storms on Sunday. A typical briefing because we need to get on the road. So this is going to be a quick and very short one. We may get a little wet as we're getting loaded up. If it starts pouring down rain, we'll move the vans up to underneath the awning so we don't have to get totally soaked first thing in the morning and be wet. They do. We got an enhanced risk again over that kind of southern Texas panhandle into Oklahoma and the kind of north central part of Texas there. 5% tornado probs, 30% hail and wind with hatched areas. So again, significant hail, significant wind.
Region. So you can see there's pretty much a line of due east winds kind of right through here. So where that warm front sets up along with the dry line, and this is where we get that kind of localized convergence where we have south, southeast, east, and then we're going to get a surge from the west just from the dry air coming in, like Dr. Fry mentioned with the dry line.
We want that kind of hook shape at the lowest levels. That's indicative of spinning motion underneath a storm, and so is higher likelihood of producing tornadoes. So this is spinning the storm. This is what we're looking for tornadic development, especially kind of these lowest few points here at 0, 1, and 2 kilometers. Road network is a concern. It's more of a concern like a little bit further south, but the road network is pretty sparse once you kind of get up into here, so that's just something
We are currently in Weatherford, Oklahoma, and we are headed further south into Texas today to go try and chase some severe weather. I haven't looked at the SPC update, so I don't know exactly what we're going into, but we're hoping to get some development at like 3, 4 o'clock and see some storms. So.
Till the wheels come off. Till the wheels come off. Said I'm gonna ride this life till the wheels come off. Till the wheels come off. And it's not given that we see tomorrow. And every day is like you won the lotto. So I'm gonna ride this life till the wheels fall off. I'm gonna ride this life till the wheels
It was so cool. Like, just learning like all the like slang. Like, I picked up so much knowledge today, and it was like the first day.
We're kind of on the edge of rattlesnake country, so make sure you look in the grass before you step down. This is the last thing you want to deal with. And trust me, it happens.
And so that's the main part of the storm. If anything tornadic would happen, you're going to see it there. Obviously back here to the north is where all the rain and the hail and everything is falling. So that's kind of what we're just kind of watching and looking at right now, and seeing how that develops.
In the shadow of the valley, I would like to settle down. Wide open space, wind on my face, a distant horizon, the blue lawn.
Went in phases. Like the first half I totally expected, like the drive there was normal. Even just like the first location we went to like view the like storm forming, that was pretty normal. But then when the two like supercells kind of like started merging together, then everything just like went crazy, and I was like, oh, I thought maybe we would be in this situation and like, you know, further down in the week.
To show you, or to have it tell me, but we're right here, canyon's right here. Our next paved option is going to be here, and then this road goes through to East Ave, and we can go south, and we can continue to go east, and then we'll hit 83.
North, we need to go back down the road we were at, and we're just going to have to punch through that last little section that's falling apart more than it was when we were just looking at it, and just go right back where we were.
Go which way? Go west? Oh, okay.
Okay, so we're gonna head west.
Yeah.
The one that was to the south is merging into the main cell.
Okay. We'll just keep our eye on it. Obviously, I don't want to drive into the hill, but.
We had some really good ingredients lining up. We had a slight enhanced risk over the Panhandle in Oklahoma and Texas. And we ended up getting stuck kind of in a data hole and in a radar hole. As we were trying to get out, we got hit with a pretty hard hail core. So we took refuge underneath a tree.
Are you under there good?
Kind of. The windshield is.
I'm gonna pull up and back up, like right next to where I am, and then you can pull up here.
I don't know, I was expecting like some sort of storm today. I was hoping it was gonna be a big one, because like I wanted to see something exciting, but I was like really thrown off by the amount of hail we got. So it did and it didn't go how I expected it today. Like I was kind of feeling we were gonna get something big, but I didn't know exactly what.
Me personally, that is the scariest part about chasing, is when we do either get in a radar hole, which is somewhere that's not well covered, or like we had today where you've got no service, because the clouds all just look like clouds at that point. There's no easy, and when that tornado warning came and the large gust of wind, the crosswinds hit really hard, I was for a split second there like, is there a tornado right there? And that's one of those scary ones where like you don't want to be within 2 miles of a tornado. I want to see it from far away.
I
trust the process of this very much, especially with who we're with. I think if we were alone, it would be a lot different, but it's nice to know that you're getting warnings and watches. That means that you're in the right area. So for some people, yeah, it's scary, but for those of us that like to chase, that just means that we're in the right area, we're making the right calls, we're looking at models correctly. I run best off of adrenaline, so the more like scary it is, the better I'm able to like problem solve quickly.
I think what made my heart race a little bit is when we got that tornado warning, like not a watch, but like an actual warning, so that there was a tornado somewhere in that area, and our like radars weren't working because we didn't have internet. So I'm like, okay, we're stuck in this hailstorm, we don't have visibility, we can't move, and now there's a tornado somewhere and we don't know where it is.
Basically, what we're seeing now would be the back end of this storm, starting to kind of.
I think we slowly start drifting back north. Just based off of what radar was doing.
I'm hoping the hail force to the north.
And I feel kind of like a sitting duck right here.
Yeah, I just had a flash flood warning pop in.
Based on how slow these are moving.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, the hail has been pretty small. So I think just slowly drift north. Don't have to like go the speed limit, just keep it down a little bit. We'll stop if we have to.
But then the more he like started giving it gas and like trying to like back out and go forward, I was like, we are digging ourselves in a hole, which we did. And then, yeah, I was like, this isn't good.
Do you need us to push?
Yeah, probably.
You want me to try to?
Before we didn't know that we were stuck, we were under some trees, and like there was like a bunch of times where, and I was in the front seat, and there was a bunch of times where hail would just start like raining down, and there was like a couple of like huge drops where I was like afraid that it was like gonna crash through like one of the windows.
You want me to push you back?
So I don't know what I expected, more of a calm day, but it was nice to see such big supercells on day one. And then the hail, I've never seen hail like that, even in Wisconsin. Like, we've had a lot of hailstorms, but I've never seen it like that.
Let me come back. Yell out the window, tell them, let me come back.
I'm coming back!
I'm almost out. But I gotta come back. I gotta come back. He has to come back.
This is crazy. Everyone right now is out there. The hail just stopped, so right now it's only raining. However, the rain created quite a big flood where our vans were under a tree for shelter. So right now they're sticking pieces of wood and different branches that fell off this tree under the van to try to get it unstuck, and everyone's pushing right now, but it's not seeming to do anything. On top of that, we got another tornado warning.
Because I made a stupid mistake. Ready? You got more coming out. Left.
Go forward, straight. Go.
I'm all the way down.
Okay.
I think if I rock backwards some, I get some momentum and I may be able to clear it.
What is the warning? No, it's a new warning on a new phone.
We're not getting out.
Normally we would not have to be sitting underneath a tree during a hailstorm, but with the lack of road network and the lack of radar that we had, we really didn't know what was going on. So now we've got Fry was sitting at a low spot, and his 2 front tires are, if anything, just getting further stuck in the mud right now. So once we get out, we'll immediately go try and find service and see what's going on. We are just completely in the dark right now. So, god damn, is our
And we have a towel. I'm trying to tap us slowly backwards. I can't breathe good. I don't mind a towel. It's not a hard pumping. I know that. Yeah, it's not hard. Do you want to try that and try to turn your wheel to get back, or I mean, I don't know what else we're doing. Yeah. Call.
Okay, well, I wasn't
Hello?
ready yet, so
I'm sorry.
Yes. Okay.
I felt really bad. It was kind of my fault. We got screwed over. We left the spot where the car was, and 30 seconds away we got service, so I just put in towing near me, and roadside service 24 hours came up, and I just called the first number, and then they tried to get us a dispatch, but it ended up taking 2 hours. My first call was at 5:17, and we canceled the appointment at 7. And we got a refund and everything, but they said that their head gasket blew on their way out to us, so it was very coincidental how things were working. But we were trying to call tow companies that were 30 minutes closest because we didn't want to drive an hour, because that would have made them wait even longer. But we were looking at gas stations, just anywhere where there was like a car service, just to see if anyone could pull us out.
And then we finally got the text that the other van got unstuck. That was the best news ever. I was like, thank God, let's get on the road, because at this point, like, it was dinner time, it was starting to get dark, and we like still had a little bit to drive before we got to the hotel, so everyone was like really tired and just like kind of upset with how that happened. But I think at the end of it all, like, just getting out of the mud lifted everybody's spirits, so.
Yesterday was not typical. We'll start there. We don't put ourselves in those positions, but the way the storms developed yesterday and moved, we had really no choice. And I think looking back at the day, when we talked in the morning, all the models, which is what we have to rely on for things like initiation, all of that was saying, 3, 4 o'clock, and it started at 1. So we lost 2 hours of time. Anything that could go wrong went wrong yesterday. But when you're caught, ideally you want a road to stay down in here, and we didn't have those roads yesterday. So we had to use what we had. That's what we could have driven into. That's why I didn't want to go further south. But thank God for
Australian Seattle.
Australian southern Texas hillbillies and their super duty trucks to pull me out. They're willing to give a shit about people too. That's the other thing, is because the firefighter dude that first tried was annoyed as hell that we asked for some help.
The air obviously is going to decrease with height. So when you have steep lapse rates, that's going to indicate a rapid decrease in that temperature with height. So we kind of see some steeper lapse rates in the west central Texas region again.
To be honest, being a little cautious here, I'd rather be to the west of the storm and tag in behind it. things up here are not going to change quickly. This changes very slowly throughout the day.
Higher in the atmosphere, but you've got a lot of southwesterly flow coming into this region here.
So the fact that we're near Midland, Texas, it's a great chance to pull that up and just see what that looks like since it's near where we are. Let's try.
Isn't it your camera?
It is. I use it. So that's where we just gotta, maybe we can look to see if we have more.
Yeah, so I didn't have much knowledge. I'm a geography major in similar groups with a lot of the other people on this trip, but like many others, this is my first time going storm chasing. So I watched the videos like all of us. I took a couple classes kind of around the subject, like a geohazards class that kind of filled me in on some stuff. So I know the basic conditions for certain weather events to form.
And the big thing Brian and I pointed out is look back there. What do you see?
Clouds? Blue sky?
Yes. I might have been pointing in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I was just say the blue sky's over there.
But there's blue sky there, so that's indicative of a bulge in the dry line coming this way, creating that localized shear in this environment.
Here comes the dust.
So warm, moist air off to the east, and then you're going to have drier air off to the west. And today we kind of saw that pushing in through the region that we were in today. We didn't want to drift too far east because we didn't want to get away from that, and we kind of had a thought that those boundaries would stay a bit further to the west, so we didn't want to get too far east.
We're going to stop at this intersection right
Copy that. Southeast, and it's right where the cloud bank is. You guys can take a look at that, and then look at our wind directions.
So the main thing that I was really looking at as we were also driving to that storm was just how much those towers were building. So we were seeing a lot of towering cumulus, which essentially just means these cumulus clouds building and continuing to build and build in the atmosphere. And we could visually see that as we were driving to that location and when we stopped at that location as well.
All right, so we are just to the west of St. Lawrence, Texas right now in the Texas Panhandle. We've been tracking the storm behind us for probably an hour or so now. And basically we're seeing a lot of inflow off to our side here. That's good. We want to see that getting brought into the storm and creating more lift in the atmosphere. We're also seeing some stuff kind of off to the side here that's getting sheared off, but mainly that tells us that this storm is still the main dominant one. Right now, we're able to stay at a comfortable distance and discuss a lot of good storm structure and really try and explain things more. We're in the Panhandle. There's a lot of dirt, a lot of dry dirt. It's 90-some degrees right now. The rain hits the ground and pushes out all the dust. And the low-level shear will take over, and basically what we were seeing is dust moving out from the storm and getting pushed back in towards the updraft. So that was crossing basically as we were driving against the road here. What we saw was a pretty significant dust devil, probably the biggest one that I've seen. There were quite a few small ones as we were driving up here, but that one was pretty impressive, and that's just indicative of good low-level shear and how outflow can help increase that during a storm.
It was really cool to see in person because I've seen all of this on videos and Dr. Fry's videos. You know, it's nice to actually see the conditions in person for once and see all the material we went over like actually be visualized.
The ironic part is the side of this van has more mud on it than yesterday. Just from rolling through that puddle.
We ready to roll?
Yep.
Overall, I think it was a really good forecast. I think we had a good understanding of some of the parameters that were in play today, and we were kind of visually able to see that through some of the structure that we saw today as well with the storms. Again, wanting to stay a further distance away from them today after yesterday. Overall, I think I could say that it was a pretty confident forecast and that we were going to stay in the region that we were in, watch those things develop as we did.
Yeah, it's like starting to kind of get up there.
Hey, Brian, what's your take on kind of this thing?
I guess I didn't know what to expect because of the day before with our hail incident and the hailstorm. So I didn't really know what was going to go on for today, but this is kind of what I thought the first day would be like.
Getting stronger every day.
Yeah, we're keeping an eye on it as well, and just kind of noticed it when we started.
So today was more of a approaching it from the backside of the storm, as we didn't want to be out in front of it and get caught in any hail like yesterday, so we were trying to avoid any of that core of the storm really nailing down on us. Our goal today was to position ourselves again further west so that we could potentially see the development further to the east and then kind of trail in behind that and just follow the storm from the backside. I think just staying up to date with any observations that we can is critical in positioning ourselves with these storms, and that's always going to be a factor along with road network, especially in this region. But I think that the way we were able to position ourselves today was very successful, and that allowed us to be able to see what we saw today.
Let's pull off here so we can take a look.
Copy that.
So right out to the back here, we've got two supercell thunderstorms. We've got one over here, and we've got one over here. And if we look up on the top here, we've got this flat cloud shape. This is the back half of an anvil. And so the anvil happens during a supercell thunderstorm as it breaks up into the upper atmosphere, and you get the storm kind of leveling out. So on the back side, you've got all of this inflow, which are clouds that are going up into our supercell and helping fuel it. And then again, we've got that back side of our anvil. If we were looking at it from the side, you'd get more of that long, extended shape.
You know, honestly, the biggest thing I took away from this day is I'm not going to wear pants ever again. And I'm wearing shorts the entire trip. It may not be weather related, but it's really important. Yes, I was really hot today, and it was a big mistake.
You've always been the antidote when I was out of luck. Always made us feel good when we were in the rough. We proved everybody wrong who ever doubted us. We took a chance at romance and made it all we trust. Here's a toast to the both of us. My darling, we made it.
This is shaded relief map. What are all these? Hills. Okay, this is Texas hill country, and when you do get on a road, it's this.
Sorry to show. Hatched tail! So we need to really keep this in mind.
But he's there, okay, and he's indicating that we got a little bit of instability.
We got a little bit of rotation. It's not the specific like S curve that we want, but there is some change of wind direction.
If that, so right now the winds are coming out of the north a little bit. If they, what Andy's trying to get at is if they start coming out of the east, southeast, they're going to be flowing up this way. They're going to encounter this, and it's going to lift the air.
This park is really nice. There's flowers. Right now we're in southern Texas, so it's really warm. It's a nice break from being on the road all day for sure.
So we got some lunch and now we're just sitting here. We're kind of waiting for some storms to develop. There's some storms developing to our south, and you can actually hear the thunder of them like growing.
And we're already in the target city for the day, so there's no need to like go and travel to another place.
So today we're just gonna chase some small little isolated storms that come if we get any.
I think yesterday in Menard, Texas, which is like an hour and a half from here, they had hail measuring 5.9 inches, and that would really take out a van and we wouldn't be able to chase anymore. So I think just watching them develop from far away, finding out where these hail cores are developing and not being underneath is super important.
I think this thing probably won't get more severe until it gets probably more east towards San Angelo, San Antonio area where those storms are currently just harboring over.
We're kind of just waiting for Fry and Andy to be like, all right, let's load up. But yeah, I think our plan is to go west, and these storms are south right now.
We'll probably head through town just to give it a little bit more time to get north of the interstate, and then we'll jump on 10.
A lot of things can happen when you're stuck in the storm. The biggest thing that we experienced day one is hail. And along with hail comes flash flooding, being stuck in areas that you lose power, not being anywhere near restrooms or being out in the middle of nowhere is not safe. You always want to be in a semi-public area so that if something happens to you, people around you can see and notice that.
We brought US 67 down here. We split between two different storms. The one to the west here, you can see off in the distance. A lot of rain, and it was actually one big cell and it split into two. And this is the western side, and we'll look at the eastern side here in just a second. We've got a decent updraft base here, precip in the back there. Not much else going on with it. We are sitting a little bit cooler air, so it's lost a little bit of its energy today, at least this west one. We spin around off to our northeast here a little bit. Again, that's the second part of that cell that split apart. That one still looks pretty healthy. I think it's feeding into some warm air on the east side of it. And so I think our plan is to drop down south here a little bit more, go east, catch up with this one and look at the southern side of it, see if it does anything.
It's invisible to you, right? Like you can't really see dew point, you can't see a temperature. It takes time because I still don't really know exactly what I'm looking at, but I can kind of picture oh, when the graph says this is kind of what it physically looks like. So I think connecting those two during this trip has really helped.
Watch that thing cross over that road between Marathon and...
We kind of circled the storm in a sense, we watched it kind of develop. We saw it maybe try and form a wall cloud. But then Fry said that was probably on the opposite side of the storm, as the storm kind of formed a little backwards, probably due to the difference in elevation. The storm split in half, which was really cool. So then we kind of drove through the middle of the edge.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna get away from this. Oh.
I got it! I got it! The landscape was so beautiful. I love mountains, and so when we were driving through the mountains with the storms in the background, it was so pretty. And the rainbow yesterday, that was one of the brightest rainbows I've ever seen, so that was also really cool.
I still want to stick around because there's no way we're getting up to Kansas, obviously. The stuff over to the east, again, goes into even worse no man's land and hill country, and just no thank you.
And so I think today, really breaking it down and doing the forecasting helped me learn so much, and a lot of things kind of clicked for me of how these different factors affect each other within a storm. Not only learning from Andy and Fry about their endless knowledge of this topic, but also learning from the other people on this trip. There's a lot of other people on this trip who know a lot. Theoretically it's good because then that allows things to heat up a little bit, which will produce CAPE, which is that forecasting is kind of intimidating because there's a lot of different
graphs and predictions to look at, and then you have to look at the maps. And here in Texas, there isn't many roads. You know, that's something we don't really think about when we're storm chasing, because in Wisconsin we have so many roads that connect everyone to everything.
Timing is literally everything, because you don't want to be too late. The storms will have moved on. And so just constantly looking at the forecast and knowing what target city you really need to be in to have that like impeccable view, the like best view of the storm. It's just, yeah, it's so important.
We're going to be moving north a little bit soon. We're not exactly sure where we're going yet, because there's not going to be a lot of storms, it's looking like today, and probably not tomorrow either. So we're going to stay in this location, but not go far.
Personally, I wouldn't mind like buying a good book and reading it at a park and just like resetting and then positioning for next week. I mean, chasing every single day would be a cool reality, but I know it's not a reality. It's just very like condition dependent.
So we're at a park right now. We're kind of just hanging out, eating snacks, playing games. We're waiting for another update to come out for the SPC Outlook to see where we need to go. If we need to go more north, we need to stay where we are, because this morning we didn't really have a lot of information to go off of.
So the newest SPC Outlook came out, and it's not helping us a whole lot with storm predictions for today. And something that really goes overlooked when it comes to storm chasing is the fact that you're not going to see a storm every single day. Sometimes it's more about hurry up and wait. Yeah, right now we're just relaxing, which is just as important as actively chasing. It's all part of the storm chasing experience.
Wish we were chasing, but it's just not really the best elements. Not all the right ingredients are adding up.
Conditions did look better up in like the Panhandle, northern Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma Panhandle, southwest Kansas, but there wasn't enough time for us to get up into that region. So we're staying down here for now, keeping our eye on this slight risk and seeing what develops down here.
Today's looking kind of okay at best, and do we want to wait it out here or set ourselves up for what could be a better day tomorrow?
If conditions are just borderline, not the greatest, then we're not going to chase, and we're just going to transition up to where they're going to be better in a couple of days.
Tornado, which is better than it has been the past couple of days. We got 5% here.
Earlier yesterday, we kind of had some short wave troughs. There's one right here, got some right there. And that's going to lead to my biggest takeaway. I'm realizing how hard it is to forecast storms. I'm realizing how fast Mother Nature can change things, and how you can predict something, you can be pretty sure about it, pretty certain. It doesn't matter, it can change fast. Looking at multiple sources, looking at multiple different graphs, different models, different soundings, when you put them all together, it can get you in on one location, and it can help knock out some of those other locations you were thinking about going to. I didn't really know how to forecast at all before this trip. That's something I really wanted to learn. And now I know a lot of the tools that people use and a lot of different websites, a lot of different sources that are available to me. So now, after this trip, if I ever want to do it myself, I think I could.
Yeah. Every single model has a bias. Some of them have lots of them.
So I say we drop down to Brownfield, stay on the north side of town there somewhere. I'll have Sabrina start scouting out somewhere, and I'll just let you guys know.
For the future, an end goal would be something in meteorology and possibly something in forecasting. So it's definitely a good start to get me in the right direction.
I was like, this is a zoo. Look at that, that one's huge. Look at that. Their homes are so perfectly circular. Oh, he's standing up. Oh no, he's not.
We are sitting in a park right outside of Brownfield, Texas, which is about 40 minutes south of Lubbock, Texas. Right now, there is a small boundary layer moving at about 17 miles per hour, so it's a pretty slow-moving storm right now. We are expecting some disorganized cells at the beginning, and then hopefully, my fingers are crossed, they're going to merge together, and we're going to get a rotating mesocyclone. Basically, that just means that the lower level of the clouds are going to start spinning, and that's when we can really see clouds start dropping towards the surface of the earth, and that's where tornadoes usually start occurring.
We may keep going north here. Is that rotation on the ground right in front of us crossing the road?
I think that is. That's what we just saw as well.
All right, tornado guys, we think.
My favorite moment is when you get the forecast right and you're in the right place at the right time. And at first I was like, I don't know if this is the best spot. I'm a little concerned, like, why are we here? And then things started like happening. We saw the cumulus cloud field start forming, and we went on this random road in the middle of nowhere. You were there, and a tornado just drops down in the field. And it's one of those things where if we weren't in the right spot at the right time, our forecast worked out, we wouldn't have seen that tornado.
If we have to, we'll whip it around.
Okay, I'm going to pull up behind you just because it's a little more solid ground.
Yep.
Out.
Stop coming into it, but what else is different with this one compared to that one? That one technically started.
I was a little nervous, but it was pretty cool. Honestly, I thought back at the time, I was like, I'm not as scared as I thought I would be. Like, it was just so cool to watch these wall clouds like develop and fall apart. And then at one time we had like a storm to our left and a storm to our right, and then the storm to the left started like absorbing energy from the storm to the right, and then the storm to the right just started exploding and it stole all that energy back. And I was like, this is wild. Like, you could just see the instability play out before your eyes, and yeah, it's really cool.
Hey Alex, do you want to stick your camera out that window and we spin around and get pictures? Okay, so the road we just passed up.
There's definitely a lot of adrenaline with that, I thought, just due to the fact that when something is going to start coming right after you, we all had to rush into the van. I thought we were pretty good at that, but it definitely raised the adrenaline.
Look at you. Guys, that's why, like, heads on swivels, paying attention, ready to get in at moment's notice, right? That was a good job.
That one is a little too circular.
Alright, we're going to try to bust and get to this first road to the south and get south of this. We got like a little landstop trying to spin up right there to our left. Okay, so this is all inflow. Look in front of me, we got all this inflows going in towards the updraft right here.
The main highlight as well for me is the day that we saw all the land spouts. I think personally I have never seen anything like that chasing, so that was definitely a highlight on this trip as well for me.
We also have a small cell forming towards south. I don't know if it's been developed into anything, but
okay. All right, thank you. You can get out, just head out to the passenger side, please.
Down the mud road. Moments before disaster.
Reading us say there's a little bit of rotation of this tail cloud about 2-3 o'clock or so, right out the right hand side.
Yep, copy that. I've seen it as well now. Thanks for pointing it out.
We're going to drop down here. I just want to get a little bit further south of this, and we'll find a stop. Our next intersection is about probably 3 miles now.
Dang, look at that get just sucked up into that storm.
The thing that I've learned with weather is that things change so fast. For example, May 29th, during that, we had
no idea on the 28th that there was going to be any sort of storm at all. We figured we were going to use that as a big driving day, but actually we ended up like chasing the most that day.
Really, I didn't expect there to be so much kick up from the dust and us not being able to see that well, but we were able to adapt to that.
How did we adapt?
Moving away from it and then making sure just to watch very closely for any rotation because it was hard to see through the dust.
Okay. This is what it's like, guys. Drive out, drive out, drive out.
It was kind of stressful. It was fun and stressful at the same time, just due to the fact that it was the most we've ever seen so far. It's the most I've seen in my life, storm-wise. So it was a lot to take in, and it was really exciting to see. I was happy.
Oh, it's cold.
I'd almost go back to Hobbs. Shoot north, that would be so fast.
Icing on the cake, heading north. Plains or somewhere. You don't know what food option. Not a bad day. I mean, what were we up to? 7, 8 land spouts that spun up. Some of them were, 5 seconds long. Some of them lasted a little bit longer. I mean, one thing, we haven't used this yet, but one thing we always talk about is you want to be on the storm of the day. We were on the storm of the day. That's all you can ask for.
Because what's the point of all the knowledge that I have if I can't articulate that knowledge in a way that other people are going to understand? So I think that I enjoy that aspect of kind of being somebody that everybody's kind of leaning on, because it keeps me on my toes, it keeps me sharp, it helps me develop my skills. And I want to be a leader, I want to do these kind of things. So whether it really is in its infancy in the grand scheme of things. And so a lot of that is that short-term day of surface observations. I mean, the winds shift. What are you gonna do? Nothing, And so it's just kind of one of those live and you learn, and the longer you do it, the more you understand. I mean, Andy was talking about patterns, and I think that's the thing. Is like the forecast that we did was so difficult because all the patterns that I had been used to seeing weren't present. Doesn't mean stuff isn't present. It's just out of your typical or out of your normal things that I was at least used to seeing. So we're thinking about just going straight up to Dodge City. Just start heading north and just kind of see how the day goes and then kind of go from there. Because we want to be Especially because our storms are going to be moving from a northwest to a southeast.
Interstate's right here, interstate's right there. So this would be
We're just at a park right now. We're just waiting for things to happen, which is a big part of storm chasing. It's a lot of hurry up and wait. So we've been in the car for about 4 hours, 4 give or take, and we're gonna head to the museum now. So I'll see you in there.
Okay, if you've had class with me, you've heard this before. So we're in Greensburg, Kansas. Early 2000s, this town was completely wiped off the map. I think they said like 95% of the town was destroyed, 98% was damaged.
If I'm being really honest, today's forecast was definitely more out of the blue than normal, which led to kind of that almost self-doubt of, I've done this before, but the things that I'm used to seeing aren't there. I don't know how to help other people who know even less than I do.
Today's what we call a northwest flow day. So there's a shortwave trough moving in from the northwest, which basically changes everything by about 180 degrees because normally storms move from the southwest to the northeast. So it was a good challenge, I think, for everyone, and I think we put together a good forecast to put us in the right position, and I think that's verified by the boundary at least right now, as we want to always be right around those boundaries to create lift in the atmosphere.
So we're gonna go south, get back in that moist air. The shortwave about an hour ago was crossing the Kansas-Nebraska line, the trough of it. So if something's gonna fire, it's gonna happen in the next hour and a half, 2 hours or so. So again, this is part of chasing. We said this one was gonna be a challenge, and we're kind of watching some clouds, right? Watching for those cues to start to develop.
Like Bryn and Peyton and Adeline so accurately predicted, this chase has been a flop. So, trademark that. And so we got pizza from Casey's, lovely, and now we're heading to a hotel somewhere because there's nothing gonna happen until nightfall.
Yeah, and we don't chase at night, and it's not worth it, and the atmosphere is not gonna be ready until then, and we need to get ready for Monday. Woohoo!
Forecasting is one of those things where it's not just like you can look at one map and you're gonna know it's gonna happen. It's one of those equations you get in math class that you hate because there's 17 variables, and if you change one or write one negative in the wrong spot, the entire answer is wrong. And forecasting is a lot like that, and it is frustrating, it's challenging, but that's what makes it fun for me. I took this class 2 years ago, and I did not really understand forecasting until the last 5 days of the trip, maybe. It took me a good week of the trip to kind of understand things, but I'm still learning things today. The forecast today was really hard, and I learned what a low-level jet was. I probably should have known that already, but I didn't, and so I learned that today. And so I really don't fully understand it yet.
I want to drive into a big, huge cloud there.
So we're kind of trying to figure out things as we go, and the different variability in the atmosphere, because it is not a very consistent thing. I mean, we've got these long-term trends, seasons, stuff like that, but when it comes to kind of these shorter-term events, there's only so much that we can do. So I kind of like that it's that theoretical aspect where you take all of this data that you've gotten from actual observations and actual surface things, you launch your weather balloons, everything else, and then you plug it into a model and
Over
see what
here
the
in
outcomes
Western
are.
Panhandle are slightly southwest. Over here in the Eastern Panhandle, they're slightly southeast. There's an area of convergence going on north of us and into the Texas, or into the Oklahoma Panhandle.
There
and
was a really
extreme
large
southwest.
slight risk area. It kind of extended from the panhandle of Texas all the way up through, I'd say, all the way up through Nebraska, almost reaching South Dakota. So it's just a large area to look at for parameters specifically. So we really had a hard time kind of narrowing it down, and we did ask Brian and Andy for some help just to try to make the boxes smaller and smaller.
I think the waiting is a little normal because you need like the interaction between the sun warming the ground, creating the cape that then creates the storm. So you need to wait a little bit just to have the right conditions. Today is probably one of the most humid days we've had, so there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, which is something we also need. So cape and moisture are really good.
I'd say that people want to give more benefit to the models because they base it off of numbers, and data is not usually wrong. But at the end of the day, the atmosphere and the earth does whatever it wants. So if it picks up enough speed in one area, it could take off and drop a tornado that was not predicted. So that's the one thing about storm chasing that I'm forever going to be confused about, is being so confident in going somewhere when you don't know if that's actually going to happen.
I've been interested in weather and thunderstorms specifically since a very, very young age, and so this just gave me the tools to kind of have a new hobby going into the future. Instead of just chasing anything that pops up, you put a forecast in, you play it by ear, but you stick to your forecast, and that's kind of stick to your guns and you'll get to see what you want to see kind of thing.
We want to get to our target city before things start to fire because we don't want to be behind anything and miss any storms. So the strategy with that is give us plenty of time to get to our target city and wait before storms start to fire and develop, so that we can also kind of see where they fire, and then we are able to get on them as soon as they fire rather than trying to catch up to them.
One direction like we have here. Maybe watch those kind of individual components as it start to merge. They're all tracking this way with those track lines, but the cold front is moving. Let this part of the storm. The only thing I'm worried about is this hail core right here. So we may have bust back west a little bit, let that pass, and then we're going to follow in behind this line.
Convergence that we kind of talked about at the 850 millibar level. You can see it again here as well on the temperature map. So this wind bar here, you've got southeasterly flow, southerly flow right here, kind of going along with what Sabrina said as well with the 850 millibar level, kind of bringing in some of that moisture from the Gulf, and then with the low level jet there as well. We don't really have that cap on the model sounding here, but with the temperature and the dew point lines staying close together, we're expecting that it's going to be high precip.
Not a highly developed shortwave yet, but there is a shortwave that's starting to develop right there. And again, those are the subtle things you have to look for.
that makes sense then.
Thought so.
Yep, okay. That's right.
So you can see this cake shear that's bumpy.
She's modeled?
Nope. Well,
kind of, because it's observed.
That is still consistent on the map. We have like westerly winds and southwesterly that are kind of meeting up right on the edge of the Panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma. So that's like the axis of the trough that we're seeing. And there are some storms, small ones firing to the northeast of us right now along that trough.
Storm. It's kind of moving northeast, so we're trying to stay up with it. So if you look behind me, a couple of features that we can point out. First of all, we got a nice contrasty rain shaft here, so rain starts abruptly. Notice how it curves off to the left-hand side there. That's what we call a rain foot. So as the precipitation is falling down, you get air that starts to spread out and it creates those foot. Up to the right of that, you've got some tealish color in the clouds that probably have some hail in there.
Yeah, so we just headed south out of Elmer, Oklahoma, across the Red River. We're seeing quite a bit of precip fall out of the storm. That's kind of the darker areas. So where rain's gonna be falling. Over here, we have a little bit lighter color. That's gonna be some hail. So we're waiting for this to pass off to our northeast, basically just stay out of that heavy precip and give ourselves a little bit of space. Our road network to the south would have been about an hour to jog up and get connected to the storm again. So instead we just drop south, let the storm pass, and we're gonna trail in behind it. So we wanna be on the southern side and it's set up like this. Most of the time northeast is the storm motion. So everything is moving from this side off to our northeast. When we're on the south side of the storm, we can look into what we call where the updraft would be, a mesocyclone, or if any tornado would form. We're gonna have a clear look into that, and that's because our precip that's falling is falling out ahead, and there's a rain-free basin right where the mesocyclone would form. So we always wanna stay on that southern side. It gives us the best vantage point of the storm, but also if any rotation starts to occur, we're gonna see that right away in that storm. So today we would call this kind of a classic or almost HP supercell, so high precipitation. We can see the evidence of that across the sky right now. A lot of rain, a lot of smaller hail falling. And the reason for that is we had temperatures in the 90s today, dew points in the upper 60s to low 70s, so there's a lot of moisture in the low levels. So all that energy that is being created throughout the day with sunlight is getting sucked into these storms and creating the high precipitation.
That's near the edge where this outflow boundary is, right? So all this inflow is hitting that, and that's where that boundary probably is and lifted.
And just got severe thunderstorm too.
Yeah, I just thought I'd pop in the radar scope.
So we do have a slight risk just to the east of Santa Fe, down to the Amarillo area, or east to Amarillo, and then kind of just north of Lubbock there. Tornado probs, 2%, wind, 15% in that slight area.
So the SIN doesn't come in till later, and it's kind of in that area that we wanted the Cape in. So you'll see that the Cape isn't as strong as the SIN, so that was a little bit of a concern for us, but you'll see that that doesn't really matter as much as you think it does. oh, this is the wind shear, which is good because we have a lot of it. And the wind shear is the change of speed and direction in our wind, which
embedded within favorably sheared southwesterly deep layer mean flow on the order of 30 knots. This actively appears likely to affect east of the higher terrain. The thermodynamic profile
Start making waves like
Nice to see the front of the storm and see the wall clouds and everything forming, and it was fun to stay ahead of the storm and not get stuck in too much rain other than on our drive home. But the light storm was very fun. We didn't actually see any CG or any strikes, but just seeing the sky being lit up at like 11 o'clock at night was crazy. It was very pretty. I personally really like chasing when the sun goes down, because that's when you really see the colors in the atmosphere more, I feel, because the sun's setting. It gets more dangerous, but it was really fun to see how fast the light goes down, or the sun goes down.
It was a longer chase day. Most of the storm started to fire up more at night while we were driving to the hotel, because we don't chase at night just to be able to stay safe, because you can't really see anything. But we got to see some good storms before it got really dark out.
I love storm chasing, so the entire trip has been a highlight. I look forward to it for the past 4 months of school. My favorite was rolling up on the hailstorm last night. We didn't get into the hail, so we avoided that damage to our cars, but it was just snow on the ground, and being able to just see that was really, really cool for me. Flashbacks yet? Oh my god, it's really cold!
Cooler temperatures down into even Lubbock area. South of Lubbock, you're already seeing some mid-70s starting to pop up. Our LCL is really low, less than 1 kilometer in height. Lower your LCL, and remember that's where the cloud starts. Lower your LCL. It's easier to produce a tornado because remember you have to go cloud to ground. So start here with the surface dew point temperatures. So you got a nice flow of moisture out of the Gulf where that boundary is right now. You can see a little plume of moisture sitting out here. So this is what we're keeping our eye on. Nice, again, finger of Cape right here, spiking kind of right along the Texas-New Mexico line. But then we're probably going to drift down to the southwest, closer to that boundary is kind of sitting right here through Plains, Brownfield, out to Post, kind of this region right in here. So it's an hour and a half, just over an hour and a half down to Lubbock.
We do not celebrate tornadoes. Okay? This, ironically, being our last day, it's the best conditions we've had. Okay? Tornadoes destroy people's lives, right? Okay, so we have to keep that in mind throughout the day. that, you know, this could be tearing somebody's lives apart, many people's lives apart?
Last day of chasing is always bittersweet. I mean, been out here kind of chasing storms and having a lot of fun, and we know this is the last day and then we have to make the long journey home. So it's just a bittersweet moment. This year is probably the best conditions I've seen on our last day of chasing. So that brings up some excitement, of course, in us, as you know, me as a professor, but the whole group seems pretty pumped up and excited today. When I'm chasing, safety is my number one rule, so we're going to get as close as we can without putting ourselves in danger. And that comes from a little bit of experience, knowing kind of tornadic behavior and stuff like that. The other thing I'll say is, you know, we're in a heart of Texas, and the main threat here in Texas is in a pretty populated area. Lubbock, Texas, one of the larger towns in western Texas, is kind of bullseye right in the center of where the highest threat's going to be. And then there's a lot of sprawl, urban sprawl outside of Lubbock, so you're getting into some pretty populated areas. That concerns me a lot. You know, I like doing this, like chasing storms. There's, you know, always that excitement to see a tornado, but the last thing I want to see is a tornado ripping through a town.
Not everyone got to meet a lot of people, Andy. Some of us just met the mayor.
Tornadoes ruin people's lives, they destroy towns, they destroy everything people have, so it's important to keep that in mind. But we're excited for a good chase. Things are building, so we're gonna jump on the storm as soon as possible. The feelings right now are very mixed. We're all kind of on our toes. We know there's something big happening today, but we don't really know what it's gonna be yet.
Freaking handful over there. That could be the backside of this storm.
Nice looking amble at like 10 o'clock.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we're gonna have to timestamp this video because I literally just said that.
You have to know a lot about a lot, it feels like. You have to know the terrain of places. You have to remember that there's time change in some areas. So just being aware of where you plan on going was probably the biggest takeaway, honestly. I think Storm Chaser Convergence today is going to be horrible. Being honest, I think it's gonna look like a concert. We're all gonna be out there kumbaya-ing with our phones. I mean, if you see the gas station right now, all of these vans, I'm telling you right now, are chasers. We've got our friends piling up over here, but I think there's gonna be an excessive amount.
I love doing this, and I know as soon as I get home, I'm gonna be longing for being back out here again. My stomach has been in knots since I woke up this morning and I looked at the forecast. No percent is enough to chase and still get a tornado. So 10% gets you up there, and then as soon as you get hatched, that's where you get your possibility for EF2 and higher. Especially since tornado ratings are based off of the damage that is done to people, and this being a very densely populated area, a ranking could get bumped up because it does more damage, and then that could become technically a PDS or a potentially dangerous situation. And that's kind of my fear today because we've got people's lives at risk. I'm excited. I mean, 10% probability is great news for us, but we're not out in the fields anymore. So it's a little eerie, and I mean, we'll see how the day plays out. And to be able to come out and even have the possibility of seeing something like this, I'm excited, but also scared, and also a million other emotions.
Yeah, copy that. Just so we can keep seeing.
It's almost bittersweet. I'm very excited to see the storm today, but it's also that pit in your stomach. I'm a little bit concerned about where the storm track is going to go, and also what it's going to cause damage-wise. based on the conditions that we saw this morning, everything that goes into making the storm, all the ingredients are in this one little blip. And having all of those ingredients and having the high levels of shear, so different wind directions and different speeds, so close to the Earth's surface, is really what's going to drive the storm that we're going to see today. And with all of these ingredients right there, it's going to turn into this giant supercell. My fear is for the people that are nearby, and it's in a very populated area. And so I just hope no one gets hurt today.
Keep and go, we got the dial coming, slowing down traffic.
Roll if you can.
Thank you, just trying to get that done.
Well, if we go southeast, do we have anything to get back in the north?
Tornado warning, it looks like, on this thing. I think this new warning is a PDS because it's flashing. So PDS is particularly dangerous situation. We just saw a giant wedge. It's flashing on radar scope, so it says it is observed considerable damage threat with 3-inch hail. I don't know if the 3-inch hail is confirmed yet. We'll look.
Okay. I think I want to head east on 1780. I think it's, I mean, obviously if it makes a turn, we do have a south option if we need to.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking from back here as well.
Because even though that storm track is pointing southeast, the storm itself is still moving almost due east or slightly north of east.
Yeah, and it looks like it just tightened up, honestly, and is again more east.
So I take.
It's definitely, you know, an emotional day for sure. You know, I really like living on the road and just whatever it brings. And that's one of the beauties of this trip is you really don't know where it's going to take you until you're out there. And it's really a day-by-day type of situation. So I really enjoy that and kind of the adventure of it. I also have that, you know, feeling in my stomach ever since this morning. And to be honest, this is probably one of the most significant days I've ever chased.
Stay east, go Sminer, recenter. That's it. Let's head that way.
Roll.
I'll give an update on the radio. Okay guys, here's the update. We're gonna head east here. We're gonna drop back down to Whiteface. And then we're gonna head over to Loveland. if we can, we are going to go north on 385 out of Loveland and watch this. Just kind of stay up with it. To be honest, I think there still may be circulation on the ground. It's just all rain wrapped and we can't see it at this point, based off of some radar stuff. Fortunately, this has all been out in open fields, which is good. However, this thing is heading towards the north side of Lubbock. One more peek at this thing before it potentially wreaks havoc.
I mean, I think that's fine. It's stalling out right now. Like, look at the scan. It's just stopping.
So we're fairly close, but we can't see anything because it's rain wrapped and there's a lot of dust.
About right there.
Yeah. And so we're hoping it falls apart before it gets to Lubbock, but who knows at this point. Weather is wild, so which means, yeah. Fry estimated when we were in the field it's about a quarter of a mile wide or a half-mile wide, so it's a pretty big tornado. So just keeping some safe distance and not wanting to chase it through a city.
We're about 3.5 to 4 miles away from the storm currently.
A thank you to John Fry for doing this. None of this happens without him, without his leadership, without his mentorship. And he's really got a passion for teaching us students. And you can't buy that, you know, that is a genuine trait. So just a thank you to John Fry for everything that he did for all of us. Dr. John Fry, can't forget his title.
Mind-blowing, like the amount of knowledge and wisdom and just passion they have for storm chasing and like helping you in life. And so really it's just a huge thank you and shout out to them for all the hard work that they do, and I think they make this trip as enjoyable as it is.
The trip was great. I'm very thankful. Dr. Fry and Andy did a really good job at explaining everything. If you had any kind of question, they would provide a really detailed answer to you. And if you didn't, even if you didn't understand it from their explanation, they'd go even further and help you out. So they were great.
As much as storm chasing is about the storms, it's also about the people and having that network around you that can support you through that journey of finding the storm and being on it in a safe location. And I think that was the biggest puzzle in my head coming into this trip, is like, how do they decide where we're gonna go? So I really enjoyed that aspect.
I learned more about how the tornadoes form and like what everything needs to be, like all the ingredients to have a stronger storm. So I'm glad I learned that and I know that for the future. It was fun. It was a fun time. Yeah.
Honestly, the biggest thing is how quickly the atmosphere and the environment can change. Now that I know what to look for, I definitely want to go out a lot more. So I'm grateful for the opportunity to be able to come out here.
I'm kind of making a routine to like look at the SPC like every single morning, so at least some aspects will always stay with me, but this has been a really cool experience.
It's easier to see what outflow looks like now. It's easier to see what the inflow looks like, the updrafts. So anything like that, I feel like I can spot it now pretty easily.
Don't let fear stop you from doing something that you think is really cool, or something that you're like, oh, I would never do this, like storm chasing. If you would have told like 10-year-old me that I was gonna go chase tornadoes, I probably would have told you were lying and that I would never do that.
Overall, I would say that, you know, I've had a really good 3 years out in the plains, and it's been a great pleasure to be able to chase, especially with Dr. Fry. It's something I've always wanted to do.
I think my favorite part of the trip was just the diversity of things we got to experience. I stood very firm on the fact that I never wanted to ever take a science or math class in my life. I just didn't like it. I wasn't good at it. And then this opportunity came to me by one of my other professors, Brian Shannon, and he said I would be great to make this documentary. And I was surprised how much I actually loved science because I had never experienced a love for science before. This is a story that I feel needs to be told and that I'm really excited and honored that I get to tell it.
Getting used to kind of life on the road, experiencing different communities. There's so much outside of the storms that is really just a cool experience overall. I know I appreciate it as a student, and now it's really cool to see students get that same experience, make friendships, and kind of carry on in life after it. A lot of times it's the first tornado for students, and just seeing how they respond and see like the pure kind of joy, shock of like, holy cow, this is happening, is always a cool part. I just enjoy the heck out of watching students watch a storm and seeing their reaction. So to me, getting that authentic reaction from students is something I'm really looking forward to being in the documentary. We were able to have fun and do stuff outside of seeing storms. We had dead days, like hiking in the canyon, going to a water park, making the best of the time we had. So really, I think it was a great trip and really had a good time with everybody.
Number one, I wouldn't be here without my mentor, Dr. Dave Arnold. I mean, that's where I got my start. That's when I first went chasing. He did a course like this when I was at Ball State, so definitely a shout out to him because he was an integral part of my life. And the reason I do this, you know, I went through some pretty serious health issues a couple years ago. Never thought I was going to be able to do this again. And going through something like that just makes you appreciate these types of things more. So I think that's what I learned about myself, is that I still have a very deep passion for doing this. All of you, the sky is the limit. You know, you're each going your separate directions and everything, but there's a lot of motivation, a lot of lofty goals in a lot of you, and reach for them. You know, don't back down. Just keep going, keep moving, and you will obtain those goals.